Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to Gavin Reads It All. I have accidentally done some kind of home library renovations the past few months, and I've done videos every now and then just sort of tidying up my home library, changing things around, doing unhauls and things like that. So I want to do another one today because I have had some more ideas on how to perfect my home library. And honestly, I feel like, okay, real talk, I know it must be frustrating as a viewer to see me unhaul books I've never read before, or just kind of like get rid of things that I just didn't really give a chance. And I definitely understand there is a conversation to be had about overconsumption on BookTube and things like that. Like, I totally get it. I honestly 100% get it. I do think circumstances are so different for every single person you see on BookTube. So for me personally, I went through a massive phase of being a huge lover of middle grade, for example, because I was a children's bookseller at Waterstones for a few years, and I got 50% off books, and I kind of just wanted to buy as many middle grade books as I possibly could without realizing that in a few years' time, my love for middle grade would dwindle. And these things happen, you know, some people go through phases of their life where they're so into fantasy, and then the next minute they're not really into fantasy that much anymore. And it's hard when you're buying books and, you know, accumulating books and having a home library. It's hard to like keep it to your taste like 24/7. And on the flip side of that as well, it's people's hard-earned money and people can buy what they bloody want. And if somebody wants to accumulate a massive home library, then they are absolutely okay to do that. A lot of times it's no one else's business. But I do also know, again, on the flip side of that, I have a platform. So, you know, I have to kind of be mindful of what I do. I also need to be true to my heart. True to your heart. Oh my God, what a great song. And honestly, my heart is telling me this home library, like I keep doing things to it. I built a, let me pick you up for just a second. Let me pick you. Oh, you're so light. I made a rotating bookshelf recently, which if you've seen my rotating bookshelf video, you will have seen that I had the rotating bookshelf on that side of the room and the chair on the other side. And I got a lot of suggestions saying, oh, Gavin, you should flip them around because there's more wall on that side than there is on that side. And it really will help with the light coming in. And I don't really want to damage the books, you know what I mean? I mean, they're already old. They're already pretty old, so I don't want to like damage them further. You know, oh, Mama Gav also put up some new curtains as well to make it look a lot better. And it goes with my chair, which is awesome. However, I do think I'm going to move this again. Like, honestly, my idea is, like, I want to try and do an updated home library tour in January 2026. I uploaded one in January 2025, and I like the video, it's fine, but it's changed so much since then, and I do want to make even more changes. So another suggestion was that I should probably get rid of these doors. Like, I should just take these doors off the hinges and put them somewhere else. And I do want to do that because it is like a little bit crap trying to get through that door. It doesn't really leave a whole lot of space, and if I'm like carrying things, it's not ideal. So I do want to take the hinges off and store that door somewhere. And also in my manga room, I do want to also take this door off too. And then what I think I'm going to do is put these rotating bookshelf here next to where, you know, the nostalgia books used to be anyway. So all the Goosebumps books used to be on here. I think I'm going to get rid of this door and put the rotating bookshelf here. It might be a little bit in the way, I guess, but it's far enough away from the window that sun damage won't really be an issue. And I feel like there'll still be room. There will still be room. I can move my Book of Shadows. That's absolutely fine. But I do think maybe having it in here would be better because I'm not really the biggest fan of having it on this side of the room because it doesn't really go with the young adult and adult books. However, I've got more ideas. But like, I'm not a big fan of it here. And it just like, it's too like narrow here, and it's not really the best. It's like in the way of the books. And I didn't mind it as much on this side because this is the middle grade shelf and I don't really, you know, grab things from this shelf all that often. But people's suggestions moving it from here to here was definitely the right call because there is like more wall on this side than this side for some reason. And I do still need to fix the railing there as well. So I'm constantly thinking of ways that I can fix my home library and like just to get it to 100%. Like, I know I've done so many videos this year of my home library. I did my tour back in January 2025. I did a massive unhaul in February. I did do a bookshelf organization and unhaul in August. I did my building the rotating bookshelf video as well. And I just feel like I've done an accidental series on my channel this year of just constantly upgrading and changing my home library. It was an absolute accident. I didn't realize I would want to change it around this much, but I keep having ideas. I'm like, you know what, that would be phenomenal. That would be great. So my latest idea, is this is like, let's just run through my home library, okay? This is the middle grades in graphic novels at the top there. So middle grades all the way down there. And then we have like really random stuff here, but I love it as a bit of a showcase. You know, we have some authors, like repeat authors. We've got Stephen King, Matt Dinniman, Brandon Sanderson, you know, and just some like nice broken binding editions and Alice Oseman on the top. And then over here we have my classics on this bookshelf. And then it goes into the young adult and adult books on these 4 shelves here. We don't really need to go in the manga room and sort any of that out. I think that room is absolutely fine for now. But what I was thinking was, let's unhaul some books, which I know you're thinking, Cathrine, for fuck's sake, again, yes. Because I am holding on to things that I feel like I don't really need to keep hold of. I do think the middle grade bookshelf is predominantly going to get unhauled, which I hate saying. But yeah, the How to Train Your Gavin era is over, unfortunately. And I'm looking at it and I'm just like, I'm holding on to things that I feel like I wanted in my head to have gotten to at some point. But over the years, I've just absolutely changed as a reader. But I'm not going to get rid of like every single middle grade at all. Like there's going to be quite a few that I will still keep. But I was thinking actually, instead of having a whole middle grade section to itself, I would just put all the middle grades in with all of the young adult and adult books. So it'll just be all of my books, just A to Z. And what I was thinking of doing as well is moving the classics shelf to be in the corner here instead. So it'll be the classics and then the kind of hodgepodge authors with special and fancy editions, because I do feel like this shelf and the classic shelf go much better together than like, you know, the middle grades and the, you know, random ass shelf. And then having the classics at the very start of the young adult and adult shelves, I don't know, I might as well move these and then put all the middle grades in with all of my other books and just have all of this be my, you know, young adult, adult, middle grade, all of it. And you know what? That would be so great for staying across my bookshelves as well. It'll be so great for staying across my bookshelves because then I'll be able to, you know, like also have like middle grades as an option every now and then as well. Instead of having them all the way over here and never ever touching them, I can mix them in with all of these because I might as well, you know, I might as well. So I feel like that's probably a good shout maybe. I don't know, I had that idea randomly in the middle of the night and I was like, oh, I could do it. And I knew I would not rest until it was done. And again, like I am feeling like so bad about it all, like genuinely, like I hate the fact that I've had to unhaul quite a few books this year. I even said in my unhaul video back in February, this will be my very first and last unhaul of 2025, you mark my words. Well, consider my words marked. I did get a comment on an Emboss or Toss episode, and it was a great comment as well because it actually made me think as well, and it was like, it seems like this series, like Emboss or Toss, has kind of changed your attitudes towards your book collection and what you want to keep versus what you want to just like own. And I will get the proper comment. I'll find it and I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, I do think Emboss or Toss has changed my habits as a reader, absolutely. Because I am looking at books now and thinking, like, I really just want to curate my library and I want to have the things that I feel like I would want to keep forever pretty much on here. And at least like the books I haven't read yet, I still want to feel that passion about them and not risk starting to read books that I've had for a while and I'm just keeping out of obligation for a multitude of reasons and then end up slumping and then having people hate me because I'm slumping. I would rather just want every single book in this room. And I know that's easier said than done. And I know I probably said that before in another unhaul, like, oh, I'm unhauling books so that everything I have left are books I'll keep forever. And at the time, that was true. And now though, things have changed. And I also want to say as well, I have donated over 500 books to one of my local libraries that really, really needed them. They've now got so many children's books and they have sold quite a few as well. So they're putting the money back into the library and I've already emailed about them accepting more books. In my library challenge episode 3 in June, I showed that I unhauled, you know, all of those books over the past like year. I think it was like I was accumulating books and I had them in my bathtub and I took them into Win Layton Library and I got a response saying, hi Gavin, thanks very much for the fantastic donation of books yesterday. We are overwhelmed by your kindness. This donation will massively enhance our stock of books and funds. And they've also been able to put books into their other sister volunteer libraries and they also sold some at a fair so they can put that money back in. And then I did email recently about anything that I'm unhauling today and the stuff that I've been unhauling the past few months because I've been reading them in like Emboss or Toss or stay across my bookshelves and books that I don't really want to keep anymore and they want to take these books as well. So they said that's fantastic, we would love to take all of the books as they can form the bulk of a pre-Christmas book sale and we can also add some into our catalogue too. So yeah, like I'm not feeling bad about where the books are ending up, I just feel bad about the fact that I owned them in the first place and some of these I'm not even going to get a chance to read, I'm just going to be giving them it and I do feel like they're going to be so much better there as well. And okay, so before we get into like the unhaul as well, the last thing as well is that I also feel so awful for any books that I've been unhauling because of, you know, a wish list that I had open for years when I started my channel. I haven't had a wish list open in 2 years. I shut it down 2 years ago because I do feel so bad taking books off people and being gifted books as well. I just started to feel so uncomfortable about it. And it's so lovely, like genuinely, it's so lovely when people do that. But I couldn't guarantee that I would read them. And if I ended up unhauling them without reading them, then honestly, like it would just eat me up. And unfortunately, I think that is going to happen today. And like, I'm already beating myself up over it. Okay. I'm already beating myself up over it. But I have had my wish list closed for 2 years now and it will never be reopened. I never want anyone to send me books, honestly. Genuinely so lovely. The people who have in the past, like genuinely so lovely. You guys are amazing. And that kindness was just unprecedented. And now I'm different. I have changed. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you. No, I need to stop singing. But it is time. It is time. I've been waffling on for so long because I just feel like I need to defend myself a little bit. But I just want to feel 100% happy with my home library. In 2025 has been the year of a lot of self-reflection, a lot of realizing a lot of bad habits that I've had over the years in terms of buying and accumulating books and being made to feel bad for it. As a book content creator, not just from outside sources, but from internal sources as well. Like that bitch in my head, she doesn't give it a rest. Doesn't give it a rest. So let's go through, I'm going to go through everything one last time. Mark my words, this is the last unhaul of 2025. I'm going to go through and I'm also going to round up all the books I have unhauled the past couple of months in embossed or tossed across my bookshelves because these are the books I'm going to be gifting to my local library. So let's do it. I already have a lot of these in a box already, so I'm just going to take them out. So Hell House by Richard Matheson. Read this in a recent emboss or toss and I didn't like it. I thought it was really bad. I also have my ARC copy of Mina and the Undead. I won't be donating this to the library. I will most likely be, I don't know, maybe giving it to a charity shop. I don't need an ARC copy of this because I have the final copies. So I'm just like making room by not having duplicates of books. So this is just a kind of space saving thing. A Taste of Darkness by Amy McCourt and a bunch of other writers. This is like young adult horror, like anthology, and I'm just not really into that much. But I do really like Amy McCourt's writing. I think she's awesome. Throne of Secrets by Kerry-Marie. I believe this is the second book in a series and I don't own the first book and I've never owned the first book. I don't even know why I have this. It must have been like a Waterstones pre-order potentially, or I don't think it was Fairy Loot. It must have been a Waterstones pre-order, and I must have thought I owned the first book, but I just didn't. The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, I've owned this for years. This was a Fairy Loot book, I think, back in 2022, and I just don't really fancy reading it anymore. And the exact same thing goes for The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. I don't really have any interest in this anymore. I got it years ago, I think via Fairy Loot. A couple of books I read recently for staying across my bookshelves. Embossed or toss? One of them. Echo by Thomas Old Huveld. It was okay. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. It was a bit mid. And then Last to Leave the Room by Caitlin Starling. I ended up DNFing this one. I did not enjoy it. So you guys might remember in one of my episodes of Embossed or Toss, I had to read and like the first book or I unhaul the entire series. And one of those series was the Atlas 6 series by Olivia Blake. I did not like what I read of the Atlas 6. I really did not like it. And so I have to unhaul the entire series. But that's okay because that means the library can have a full series. Another one was the Scandal and the Unicorn Thief series by A.F. Steadman. I read the first book and it was good, but it just wasn't something that I was looking for. Now, in my current stage of life, I would have probably ate this up years ago when I was peak middle grade, but now it's just not really doing anything for me, unfortunately. But that'll be great, again, in the library. The entire Nevernight series as well by Jay Kristoff. I read the first book. It was fine, but nothing that blew me away, and nothing that I really wanted to continue on with either. Another one where I think if I just read it when it first came out, I would have loved it, but yeah, the time has come and gone. A couple of manga. I have Sweat and Soap Volume 1. I read this and it was fine, but I'm never going to continue. Read this one because of Gabby. And then I also have Spy Family Volume 14. I accidentally got another copy of this. It's the same situation when I got Jujutsu Kaisen. And I do have a spreadsheet of all of my books. And I must have just forgotten to put on volume 14 of this. So when I double checked my spreadsheet to make sure I didn't have it, it wasn't on there. And that was because I forgot to put it on. So I bought a copy of it when I was out and about, came home, realized I do already have a copy of volume 14 of Spy Family. because I'm a dumbass. Smother Moss by Alyssa Allering. I read this one in Sneak Across My Bookshelves. Didn't like it. It was boring to me. I just wasn't a big fan. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I have read this and I do enjoy it. But I have the Illumicrate editions. I don't know if you can really see them. But I have the Illumicrate editions, so I don't really need a second copy of it. Subcutanean. I bought this one years ago and I read this when I went to the Haunted Village. And yeah, it was a weird one. One that I would never reread though. The Puzzle Word by Rosie Andrews. I ended up DNFing this one. It just wasn't really for me. So this one is going to look very pretty in the library, or they might be able to sell it. Actually, I think they could get some good money from that. The Book Eaters by Sonia Dean. I didn't end up embossing this one for Emboss or Toss. It is getting tossed, but read it, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Just will never reread. And again, this is where Emboss or Toss comes into it as well. It's like, do I care enough about it that I want to emboss it and permanently like have that part of my home library, or is it good but I just don't want to keep it forever? And it's one of those things where I don't want to keep it forever. It was good when I read it. I don't need to keep it. I've just decided to unhaul all of my Colleen Hoover books. I never actually read these. I bought them back in 2022. I think it was like probably like peak Colleen Hoover hype. But the more I learn about Colleen Hoover, the more I don't want to support her. And the more I just don't think I'm going to end up enjoying these ones. So we have All Your Perfects, November 9, and It Ends With Us. I've decided not to even give them a read. I read Verity by Colleen Hoover back in 2020 and I actually liked it. But that was the only ever book I read of his. Riot Baby, I read this one back in 2022 as well, I want to say, or 2023. And I liked it, but I just won't give it a reread. Nice short novella though, it's really good. Air by Sabaa Tahir, I will never read this one. I think it is part of a series, but you can read this on its own. And people did tell me, oh, read these first before you read this one. And I'm just not a big fan of that. But this came in a Fairy Loot box, which I have cancelled. I only have a very select few subscription boxes now, so that really has helped with the overwhelming amount of books that were coming in that I wasn't personally selecting myself. So I did cancel this Fairy Loot. Was it like Fairy Loot Adult? Was it like romantasy, or was it, I don't know, but like I'm not going to read this one unfortunately, but this one should get some good books at the library. I have the Deadly Education series by Naomi Novik. I read the first book again for that Emboss or Toss episode and I didn't like it, so I am tossing the entire series. And I much prefer donating an entire series to a library, because then that means, you know, they don't just kind of like a random like second book in a series or a first book in a series and not the rest of them. They're getting all of them from me, okay? They're getting all of them. But yeah, is that it? No, it's not it. I'm so sorry about this. They are going to have to like sell these because I have like annotated in some of them, and I have told them which books have like markings in as well, which I'll do with like the new books that I will unhaul. I haven't actually marked it just for the summer because I didn't actually read it, so they don't have to sell that one. But I didn't really like Say You'll Remember Me or Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Wasn't a fan at all. But I have, yeah, I've written in these, so that's not ideal. I just wasn't into them. And I wasn't a big fan of the characters. I wasn't a big fan of the romance. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I just didn't like them. I gave many reasons, because I took these to Mallorca with me when I went to see my friend's wedding. And while I was in the romance mood and I was right in the highs of, you know, people falling in love and getting married and all this and the other, this still did not do anything for me. So they're unfortunately getting tossed in my library. Can sell them if they can. And that is it. I think that's all of the books that I've been unhauling as I've been like reading through the months and vlogging. And not everyone watches my Emboss or Toss or Stay Across My Bookshelves videos or just random vlogs in general. So I thought I would have this like update in this video of what I'm unhauling, so you can see what's coming in and out of my home library, if you care about that at all. So let's start with the middle grades, which I do think we'll be getting rid of quite a few. This is always so hard though, because I'm like, I love the Wizards of One series by Cressida Cowell. I love them. I'm never gonna reread. I'm never gonna reread. Never gonna reread. Yeah, I'm never gonna reread. So let's donate the entire Wizards of One series. I mean, it's a great feeling knowing that these are going to a library, and that could be a child's new favorite series. But speaking of Cressida Cowell, this is going to be one that hurts as well. But as I mentioned, the How to Train Your Dragon era is over. And I keep saying I'm going to do a reading vlog reading all of these books. It never happened. And if it hasn't happened yet, it's never going to happen. The entire How to Train Your Dragon series. Oh, God. And I know so many people have just clicked dislike. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I read the first book back in 2020 and I really liked it. And I kept saying I'm going to do a reading vlog. How to Train Your Dragon reads How to Train Your Dragon. Never happened. And I don't think it's ever going to happen. If I'm being completely honest, it's never going to happen. And this is another one where I feel absolutely freaking awful for, because I think 99% of this was gifted. And this is another reason why I don't have a wish list anymore, and I'm never going to reopen a wish list. And this is really unfair to the people who bought these books for me. But I hope that if you're watching, if you donate one of these books, thank you so much for giving me these, honestly, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. And hopefully you can take some solace in knowing that these are going to go to a place where hopefully a child is going to read them, love them, maybe get into reading because of them. And that's because of you. So thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. But yeah, it's just, I'm not going to read them. And I keep holding on to them because I'm like, but yeah, one day I might. I don't think I am. In the Shadow of the Wolf Queen by Kerry-Marie Hargrave. I actually read this one. I had the ARC copy of it and it was good. I'm going to keep them. Daughter of the Deep. Rick Riordan. I did like this when I read it years ago for a Goodreads Choice Awards video. But it's not my favorite Rick Riordan book. In fact, I think I only gave it maybe like 3.5 stars. I think it won the Goodreaps Choice Awards that year as well, and it did not deserve it, in my humble opinion. So yeah, I'm just going to probably get rid of this one. Daughter of the Deep. I did like A Secret of Birds and More by Kerry-Marie Hargrave, but yeah, it is really good though. It is really good. I'm going to keep my pages in court. I keep saying like, I'm not going to reread them. I'm going to keep them though still. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to donate the Puffin Book of Big Dreams. The 2 Impossible Creatures books by Cathrine Rundle as well. I'm going to go. It came from the trees. I read this recently for Summerween, and it is good. I'm keeping all my Laura Anderson, Sophie Anderson. I'm keeping them. Did really love The Girl Who Drank the Moon. Read this back in 2019. Was one of my favorite books in 2019. And you know what? I keep saying this as well about the Jennifer Bell Wonderscape and Legendarium. I read Wonderscape, loved it. Didn't read this one, and I don't think it's going to happen now. But great books. Great in the library. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to do it. I read the first 5 books in the Lewis Barneveld series, or the House with a Clock on Its Wall series. Read the first 5, and I kept saying, oh, I want to do a complete series reading vlog for this one day. Did it happen? No, it did not. But this is the entire series. I mean, I love the look of them as well. Like, these were beautiful when they came out, and I was so happy to collect them. But that's all they've been. It's just part of my collection. They're actually never getting read, so it is time to say goodbye. Oh, I also have the How to Train Your Viking World Book Day book as well. I should probably donate that too. Still want to read that. Still want to read those. I'm going to donate The Island at the End of Everything by Kerry-Marie Hargrave as well. I think I'm just going to donate the Evelyn Jones series. I love the first one so much. Never got around to the second and third. The Larnia the Distant Sea, I've had for so long, and I keep saying, oh, I'm going to read it. And then I never do. Oh, and it was a gift from Jade as well. Jade, I am so sorry. Okay, I did read the first book recently as well, and I really enjoyed the first book. It was like surprisingly dark and lovely. But, well, not lovely, but you know what I mean. But I think I'm just going to donate all 3 of the Wild Trilogy books. I'm going to keep The Riverman by Aaron Starmer. Cool little spooky middle grade. When Marnie Was There by Joan J. Robinson. I did read this one for Emboss or Toss, and it was fine. I think I prefer the Studio Ghibli film though. I can't believe I'm going to do this, because the first book actually means like so much to me. This is one of the children's books of the month, and I was like still a fresh children's bookseller when I started Waterstones, and this was one of the books of the month, and I had to sell this, and I beat records. I beat records by selling this, and I have the entire series, and I read the first 3. Still need to read books 4 and 5. I don't think it's going to happen now. So these are going to get donated as well. Love an entire series. Children of the Quicksands, great book, but also The House of Shells as well by F.Y. Traore. Yeah, no reason to keep them. Yeah, that's all the middle grades. I must be done unhauling now. I must be done with the middle grades and unhauling them now, surely. Okay, maybe The Lonely Ones by Kelsey Sutton. It is a book in verse, which is great. Maybe Echo Mountain as well, actually, by Lauren Walk. I did want to read this one for the longest time. Cayman Alcree Jr. I'm lying to myself. I'm lying to you too. The Bookshop of Dust and Dreams, I read this one for a Patreon book club and it is good, but I don't want to keep it. The Hannah Gold books, I am going to get rid of, but I am going to keep my ARC copy of The Last Bear, because this is dedicated and signed. So I'm going to keep my ARC copy of it, but I'm just going to get rid of the series. Can you see these books here? I'm debating, but I kind of don't want to. You know the Guardian series that DreamWorks did? Guardians, it has Jack Frost and stuff. This is a book series that partly inspired it, but was partly inspired by it. And I have been really wanting to read these, and I think I still do. I think I still want to read these. So I'm going to keep them. Yeah, I think that's all the middle grades, I think. I love that the rotating bookshelf is just like in the way. It is just in the way. Okay, let's have a look at the young adult and adult. I think The Leviathan by Rosie Andrews, because I read the other book, The Puzzlewood. I read that book and I didn't like it, so I am very hesitant to read another Rosie Andrews. You know what, actually I'll bring it closer as well. Like, why are you so far away for? I'm really not interested in reading Book of Night by Holly Black anymore. I'm really not. I don't think Holly Black's an author for me. Long Live Evil, I think I'm going to get rid of. I watched one of Steph's Keep It or Eat It videos. In fact, it was the episode that I was in. And I believe she DNF'd this one or didn't like it. So, and again, I'm not the kind of person who does just go off on other people's opinions. I like to form my own. But it was a book that I got from Fairy Loot, and track record has not been great, unfortunately. I think I'm going to get rid of my Chloe Gong books as well. There was a moment in time when I was like very much into Chloe Gong and wanted to read everything by her. But yeah, that was probably what, like 3-4 years ago now. The Irresistible Urge to Fall in Love for Your Enemy, I believe, is Harry Potter fan fiction. Or at least like it has been like changed and stuff, but it's still not something that I want to support. I did get that in a Fairy Loot box, so I didn't realise. And I also bought Alchemized without knowing the origins of Alchemized, because I pre-ordered it on the Waterstones website and it looked pretty. Loved the sprayed edges and everything, but it said nothing about it being Harry Potter fanfiction. And I had it on my shelf and I got quite a few hate comments about it and I didn't even realise, so don't worry, it has been taken off. I know it doesn't financially support J.K. Rowling, but I don't really want anything that will remind people of, you know, J.K. Rowling. So hopefully people can understand that was just an honest mistake. A lot of these websites, they don't say, oh, this was Harry Potter fanfiction 25 years ago. Waterstones did not tell me that. Forged by Blood, I read this at the start of the year. It was actually one of the first books I read in 2025 and it was good, but I don't think I'll ever continue. It is a series and yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go out of my way to buy the sequel. There's not really a whole lot left now, which is pretty good. Oh, maybe I think I might just get rid of all my Kerry-Marie Hargrave books and just donate them. I do love her so much, but I don't really want to go into these ones. And same with Deep Light by Frances Harding. I think this came out a long time ago now. I'm going to get rid of Never Let Me Go. I read this one last year in the, like, was it the best books of the 21st century or the 20th century or something like that? And it was fine. I didn't love it though. And finally, I think The Revelry by Catherine Reber. I've just literally gone through the entire of my shelves and I'm literally like, there's nothing else. There is nothing else. I said that the last time though. I said that the last time, but something always crops up. But no, I'm pretty happy now with everything on the shelves. So I'm hoping, let me just get comfortable. I'm hoping that I can move all of the middle grades over here and it will hopefully all fit, but I will have to move the classics as well over there, and I don't think that's going to be hard to do. But the only thing is the graphic novels on the top there probably won't fit there anymore now that I'm going to put the classics over here. So I'm going to have to move the graphic novels. I don't think they'll fit with the young adult and adult in middle grade now. My A to Z, my general A to Z, I don't think it'll really fit there. And also I do have, like over here, I have my Song of Ice and Fire and Lord of the Rings collection on the very top there, which I can still put over there, but it just might mean that it might be a little bit tight, potentially. I'll have to try and figure out what to replace up there as well. And also I might have to rejig, I imagine. I might have to rejig the Hodgepodge shelf too, since it does have a variety of things, as well as my coffee, which is now getting cold. I'll take the classics off, and then I'll take the middle grade off, and I'll try and rejig this classic shelf. Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. This has already taken a lot longer than I anticipated. But we got to get this looking perfect. We got to get this looking beautiful.
What you gonna do when your circuit's being burned out? Staying in your lane, I'm a zombie, but I'll still try. I say, what you gonna do right now? She thinks it's okay bringing guns to a fist fight. think I'm gonna break down. I've been acting like a good girl way too long. Gonna break down. 'Cause looking at her face just makes me go. What you wanna say, what you wanna do, don't you wanna play? I'm not done with you. I'm just gonna break down. That's what I say. Wait. 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 What you gonna do when she's writing your paycheck? It really turns around, making me walk on a thin thread. So now what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Just be a pet. I am on the edge and I am holding on for dear life. I better play it cool 'cause she's not worth wasting my time. No, but she's pushing me, pushing me, pushing me. She keeps on pushing me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna break down. I've been acting like a good girl way too long. Gonna break down. 'Cause looking at her face just makes me go. What you wanna say, what you wanna do, don't you wanna play? I'm not done with you. I'm just gonna break down. That's what I say. Wait. Wait. Wait.
And that is my entire classic shelf done. I've got all of George R.R. Martin on the top there. Then we have J.R.R. Tolkien. I do want to get some more of these books that have like the history of Middle-earth, and there's some other stories in Middle-earth that I could get. So I've got quite a lot of space on this shelf that I can, play with, because I do absolutely freaking love Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite series ever. And then coming down, we have like some Barnes and Noble editions, Canterbury Classics, things like that. And then spills over into this one. We have some Seasons editions there, going into some other ones. And then we finally get into my favorite editions, which are the Puffin cloth-bound editions. My absolute favorite. And it's going to look so good as well, because when I put my chair back here, it's going to look great because it's going to be right next to there. So if I film in this chair, you'll be able to see my favorite shelf. So that's pretty awesome. And then going down to Agatha Christie. I can't stand these hardbacks up because the shelf is too small, but that's fine because I've just put them like that. And I don't really buy a whole lot of Agatha Christie that much anymore. I'm trying to get through these ones first before I get any more. So that's not really going to change very often. And then we have all the other, classics in the editions. So we have Oxford Wills classics, we have the Penguin classics and Random House classics and stuff like that. So this shelf is full. There are some spaces. But yeah, I don't really buy a whole lot of classics anyway, so I think it looks pretty good. So I do still have all of my middle grades piled up here that I do want to fit on these shelves. But what I need to do is move things along, find because it's all in height order as well, isn't it? Like, I like having things in height order. So I'm going to have to find the middle grades that would be hardback, height-wise, going along. And also find something to put on the rest of the top of there, which I think will be pretty easy to do. I'll just see if I've got any, big series that I could put in there. And yeah, just essentially move things along. And it's going to be so good because I'm telling you, when I do stake across my bookshelves, having more shelves to choose from will hopefully mean longer episodes, better potential for power-ups, and just a wide array of, books to choose from. I think it'll look really, really good. And then I can't wait to do the next episode of Stake Across My Bookshelves. Anyway, yeah, so we need to figure that out. It'll probably take me a while to do that. And then I also need to figure out what to do with the graphic novels. I'm sure I'll figure something out. I thought what would be easiest to do is to put all of my middle grades side on so I can see the heights of them, the author surnames, so I can put them in the right places. And that should hopefully help with me moving things along and just keep checking there and getting all of these moved across. It's going to be a task and a half. And this was the solution. Again, no rhyme or reason. Got mainly... Well, I put the Jennifer Lynn Barnes series there because I have 5 of those books and I wanted something to stack on the end so nothing falls down. So I have that, and that's like probably one of the series where I have the most of. And I did want like hardback special editions on the top to kind of continue most of the theme of like what else is on the top of here. So that was the best choice I had. I got some like broken binding editions there and like Fair Loot editions there as well, so that they all fit pretty well. And yeah, this is kind of the exact top shelf. Have a space in there for Empire of the Dawn when that comes. But yeah, that's the first step of that done, I guess. Okay, this is going to hurt a little bit, but I do have a plan. So my British copies of Amari and the Night Brothers 1 and 2, they won't go with my first American edition of the first book. And they have different heights, so they would be split up on the shelves. And I don't kind of like the idea of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to unhaul my UK copies of Amari and the Night Brothers 1 and 2. And I'm going to try and get the second and third Amari books, the US editions, so that all of mine will match. And yeah, I will never ever get rid of this. This was one of those books that I accidentally switched for a Alcrate Jr. book, but this is the one that's personally dedicated and signed to me, so we'll never get rid of. Love Amari and the Night Brothers, and I really do enjoy the second book as well. I still need to read the third book, so I need to get my hands on it. So yeah, 2 more for the unhaul. So just make sure that I don't move so many things along and then realize halfway through that I've missed a book that needs to go like on the top here. I've kind of taken all of my middle grade hardbacks and I put them kind of where they should fit in with the normal ones on the shelf, so that when I get to moving that shelf, I'll know that those books deserve to be next. Well, they're supposed to go next to it, just so I don't end, because I could end up moving all of them along and it can be like, you know, shelves upon shelves upon shelves, and then realize I have to like put those 3 in, and I've already put in so many of them that I have to like move things along. So I thought that was actually a pretty solid idea. So I've done that now. So now I will start moving things around, and then yeah, I just have like the middle grade paperbacks there to put in with the paperbacks at the bottom. But that's not going to be as hard because I don't even have that many paperbacks, to be honest. So it'll not be that hard. I just didn't want to move the hardbacks and then realize I had something to put at the very start, you know? So let's do it.
Get out of bed the same time. People talk about last night. Hey, I heard through the grapevines that guy just broke her heart. Are we just running backwards? Every page has got the same words. I'd rub my eyes again, but there's no point, just play along. It kinda seems like old news when yesterday's still ahead of you. And it feels like another burnout party, another wasted youth. You wake up staring at the ceiling, and I swear it kinda feels like the same worn out t-shirt and every sucker from school. What's your name I haven't seen yet? And I swear it kinda feels like deja vu. Yeah, it feels like deja vu. Did I just get the fever? I think I might be dreaming. Can anybody see this? I can't be the only one. Yeah, it's like that girl's always talking about the guy that she dates while he's just going on about the things that he hates. Every morning, every night, every hour, all the time, I just get a bit weirded out, cause everything's just old news, and yesterday's still ahead of you. And it feels like another burnout party, another wasted youth. You wake up staring at the ceiling, and I swear it kinda feels like the same worn out t-shirt and every sucker from school. What's your name I haven't seen yet? And I swear it kinda feels like deja vu. Yeah, it feels like deja vu. Yeah.
I am sweating and starving, but it's done. I think it's done. I like how it's turned out. It looks very uniform, and I like the idea of having everything, yeah, pretty much on the one side of the room, you know, like all the regular normal books on the one side of the room. I like it. I like it a lot. It might take a little while to get used to having, you know, like Amelia Fang next to that Lights Out by Navessa Allan. You know what I mean? It's just like having a children's book right next to that. It doesn't feel quite right, you know? Or having my Pages and Core series sandwiched in between two steamy F1 romances. It just looks like a lot. It does. It looks like a lot still. And yeah, I'll quickly go through what I've done. So of course on this side of the room, I put the chair back where it should be. And yeah, it's right next to the classics now, which does make a lot more sense than having it over at the start of the regular normal ass books. But yeah, these are the two shelves over on this side. So no, it's looking pretty good if you ask me. It's looking pretty good. And I also realized as well, so you're going to see, you know, the lights hanging there. I realized I did actually have an extra shelf on the classic shelf. So I've had to take that off so that it's all lining up. But yeah, I might end up having to, well, I doubt anytime soon because I have, you know, all of this room down here and I've just put my graphic novels on the bottom of there for now. They will be getting moved. I'm not 100% sure where to, but that can be something to look forward to in my new home library tour in January 2026. But yeah, everything is now, I'm sitting down because I'm honestly so exhausted. All of my books are going, because I do like having them going along like this in alphabetical order, but also height order. So it goes all the way down there and then to the second shelf down and then along and then to the third shelf down and then along. So yeah, that's essentially how it's all turned out. I hope you like it. I hope you think it looks good. What I could do is like move some shelves up so there's not as much of a gap. But also if there's like hardbacks coming down, if I get more books and they, you know, trickle along, it would be good to still have the heights. And I do have another of the command strip thingamabobbies so that I can put the lights up properly. But yeah, I had to move because the lights were going like down like that on the other shelf. And so I had to unstick it and then fix that. So I'll get another one of the little command hook things, which I do have more of. So it's all good. But yeah, this is now it. And then this will all work for Snake Across My Bookshelves. There's going to be way more opportunities to read more and things. But where's some random middle grade books? So yeah, we've got some middle grade books there, and just with my normal books. Anymore. Yeah, we have Diana Wynne Jones and Kiki's Delivery Service, you know, and just with the normal books. No, it looks good. You know, Root Magic, Night Books, Grey Books, you know, all of that is in there. So no, I like it. I hope you like it too. But Jeremy, I'm genuinely starving. It's been hours, like literally hours. I've been doing this for 3 hours. And I haven't eaten a single thing. I ate breakfast and that's it. But yeah, I have already mentioned some other things that I want to do and change in my home library room. So hopefully I can continue to do that over the next couple of months. I'd love to get like a nice little rug, fix the curtain thing, a little side table or something, move the rotating bookshelf and put it somewhere else, get rid of the doors. But I do have, yeah, that house inspection tomorrow. I got a phone call during doing all of this. Being like, oh, can we come at 3:30 p.m? It's like, yeah, that's fine. As soon as they leave, the doors are coming off. But yeah, I want to get this home library room done, moving things around as soon as possible because it was playing on my mind. As soon as I had the idea, I was like, I need to see it through and I need to do it ASAP. So I do like the way it's looked. There might be little tweaks and changes, but no, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I hope you like it. Tell me you like it. Tell me you like it right now. But also, I'm absolutely open to constructive criticism. So do let me know if you have any feedback. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all the comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you'd add anything to this library room, if there's anything I genuinely need or anything I should take out or just all of your thoughts. I would love to hear them in the comments down below. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you join my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.